What's up, fight fans? How y'all doing tonight? It's Sunday night. It's that time again. Look who I've got with me. Special welcome to P.Qumsieh from Relic. How you doing, Peter?
Am I allowed to talk now?
Now you're allowed to talk.
Okay. I'm pretty good, actually. It's good to be here.
All right. I'm glad to have you. You got the Christmas tree in the background. Maybe people can see some of those little lights back there. I like that. All white lights. That's how my mom used to always do it.
It's a little bit ghetto right now. We're working on it, you know.
I see some presents under the tree. Can't shake them from here, though. We got the Berlin, Vancouver Christmas connection happening.
There you go.
Peter. What's up, Peter? It's good to have you on the show, man. And I have to just say,
it's good to be here.
It's
been a while.
No offense to all the rest of the wonderful employees at Relic, but meeting you in Vancouver was a really special treat. I was so enthused by the fact that I could tell that you love Company of Heroes 2. You love this franchise. You are a great player. You're an active, like when I saw you against Sefa that first day, and I saw you just smashing your hotkeys on the keyboard, I was like, what is he doing? What are all those keys? How is he playing this game? It was really encouraging, and the first questions you asked us, I think, were about like how Garrison, like flamers and M3s, if they're too strong or something like you asked exactly the right questions as to what we were all concerned about as competitive players. And so I just wanted to tell that little story as kind of a way of introducing you. But why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your history with Relic, like when you started and what you did before that and so forth.
So I've been at Relic for about 1.5 years. Actually, before this, I was in law. So I did the whole. I was in the process of doing my law degree, and
no kidding.
I was articling. Yeah, I was articling, and just didn't like what I saw. You know, it wasn't the lifestyle I wanted to live. 12 hours a day. You know, very. I'll leave it at that. It was just I just didn't like what I was getting involved in. It didn't have that excitement and enthusiasm. And in the course of like a month, I just called my wife up and I said I'm going to change careers. There's this game design program.
Wow.
Actually a block away from where I was working at the time. So I went and I did that, and they had a Brian Wood Memorial Scholarship, or internship is what it was called for Relic.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So I applied for that at the time. I actually didn't get it.
You didn't?
One of my colleagues got it.
They're like, we don't need lawyers. Who is this guy?
Well, the caveat is that they hired him as the intern, and they hired me as the balance designer. So it worked out for both of us.
Wait a second. Isn't balance? Intern. They hired you as the higher job, but you had no experience, or did you have experience?
I had experience. I worked on European Runes, one of the COH1 mods.
Whoa! I had no idea. Yeah, that's a very popular mod. We all know about European Runes. A lot of guys would play that.
It's a good mod.
It had like the persistency, right? You would bring your army back in the next fights. You worked on that. Oh my goodness! I never knew that. All right.
Yeah. So then it was just a natural progression into Relic, and did 1.5 years there, and now we're at an exciting point where it's kind of things are happening, and pretty excited about it.
Cool. And so balance designer, is that what you're doing at Relic?
Yep, that's technically what my title is. Yeah. I think the roles kind of changed a little bit over the last 6 months. And,
okay.
We're doing.
I noticed Braden was in the balance video. The last video you guys launched was all Braden talking. So.
Well, the guy has a very sexy face, so we figured,
He's got the hair.
He got the hair. He almost got.
Hair.
His hair reminds me of if you ever watch any Dragon Ball fans here. The end of Dragon Ball Z. You get the Kais, right? And they got like the shaved head, and that's what Braden Chan's hair looks like to me.
And he's always got the "Sorry, we're closed" shirt on.
Always got the "Sorry, we're closed." He's very he has that character him very much.
He's sending out that "approach me" message.
Exactly right.
I'm just
he's
kidding.
very much.
I'm just playing around.
I know you are. So yeah, Braden obviously he's been working a lot more kind of with you guys. I was on vacation in November for about a week and a half. So that was part of it, but I'm actually working on some other we'll term them long-term changes.
Okay, curious.
So, of course you're curious. As you guys know, Jason and I, we talked to you back in October or November when you guys were figuring out the Sunday Night Fight tournament schedule, and we had the discussion about whether or not we should have large balance changes near the finales and the semifinales, and we made the decision that we probably should lay back a little bit and have you guys give you guys a little more of a stable environment. So that's something that you guys will expect. There's going to be a little bit less patching in the next month until SNF is over. But that said, we are working on some other kind of I'd say larger changes that we haven't even exposed to our beta users yet.
Let me just interrupt you for 1 second. Your video's frozen. I don't know if it's something that you can fix. Did you open a window or close a window or anything? Because your video on Skype is frozen right now.
How do I fix it?
I don't know. Can you refresh something perhaps? But you're just stuck there. I didn't want to interrupt you. You're just getting all the good stuff. All right, maybe he's going to call me back. All right, we lost Peter.
Is it working?
Oh, yep, now you're back. Okay, it's working again.
Okay.
All right, so sorry to interrupt your train of thought. You were just speaking about how we're not going to balance too heavily during SNF so people could have a stable playing environment. So please go on.
Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, so if I'm drinking a lot of water, it's because my
gotta stay hydrated. That's important.
You gotta stay hydrated.
Me too.
Yeah, so we're working on a little bit more of the, like I said, I'm gonna be working on a little bit more long-term stuff, and we're hoping that, February or past that point, you'll start seeing some large changes going into the game that will hopefully address some.
I don't know if I should be excited or scared.
I'll leave it at that.
I mean,
what
are we talking about here? You can't like resource system.
Oh, we're gonna change the whole game
system.
No. We can't. I won't give any details. No. They're not going to be things like it's going to be within the realm of what I do. So keep that in mind.
I don't know what you do because you've been a little bit vague about. Okay. Did you get promoted?
So what does the balance designer do?
That's my question. Did you get promoted to a new position? I mean, you can answer that, right?
No, I'm still a balance designer. Like I said, I think we've been slowly a balance designer 3 years ago wasn't the same thing as now. I mean, we're doing a little more activity with the core design team and
the who?
Basically the core design team. So basically what we do.
Core design team. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So basically what we do is, as you guys know, we're concerned with balance. Balance designer being the key part there. So faction, unit. But another thing that we look at is systems and gameplay and flow and pacing. And I think that's something that is probably one of some of the more key things to making the game feel good for you as a competitive player or even as a casual player, and that's something that we try and improve. So I could go from the timing of vehicles entering the game to the strength of certain abilities and adjusting those, or things like the building systems, the cover systems, the veterancy systems, things like that, making those feel a little more organic and play better with our core design principles. So that's basically what a balance designer does.
I saw that the buildings got a little adjustment in the last patch. I mean, sort of in the last two patches, there have been slight tweaks to buildings. I'm glad that you're tweaking things slowly. I never like big changes in balance to come. I like a little slight tweak and see how it plays, and then maybe another slight tweak. So were you involved with the Southern Front's balance patch, or are you already moving on to bigger things further down the road?
Well, some of it was still content that I was working on. The way that we had it set up was we had things tested for about a month and a half on our beta servers,
Mm-hmm.
which meant that, you know, even when I move on to something else or I'm working on other types of content, that's still going to have about a month and a half before it's expired completely from anything that I've done. But yeah, just on the whole kind of doing changes in not in one big chunk. You know, with the building system, we didn't want to have a scenario where if we put in the changes to small arms fire and our current changes to AoE and building integrity, that would have been a lot of overlapping data. And one thing that we're trying to do different at Relic is actually being data informed, looking at data to actually guide our design decisions. So when we have one change, we can get data on that, get community feedback. It's very isolated and contained. There's not too many overlapping variables. And that gives us a better idea of what its actual impact on the game is and whether it's good or bad. So we do like to stagger changes. You will see that. Sometimes we might do a change, like we might change an ability from 2 CP to 1 CP. We'll get data on that, and we might get, you know, the data might be negative, saying, well, this unit all of a sudden jumped up in 30% usage, and it's now killing 20% more. You know, that to us wouldn't, you know, that would be wrapped up into our decision-making process, and that might be something that we change down the road. So
let me
there's
just
a lot
ask
of
you a question
elements.
about the data that you've got incoming. How do you reconcile like the massive data that you're getting from your data miners that are sort of checking out what players do? How do you reconcile that with the feedback that you're getting, for example, from top players? Because I think it's much more important to sort of balance from the top down. And, you know, that might be something that people are curious about with Relic, because there's always this kind of debate that, you know, who's this game for? Is it for 3v3 players or people that like to play against the AI, or is it, you know, really for competition? So how do you balance the feedback you're getting from different places?
Well, you know, it's not an easy thing. I think that there are different types of feedback. You know, one's very subjective and one's objective, and I think we use a bit of both. We really do value, like, I mean, I'm on the forums a lot. I might not have been posting a lot lately, but, you know, I'm reading the forums about an hour and a half a day. And, you know, I go to all the different boards and I'm reading the feedback, and we have meetings about it. You know, we talk about these type of things. And, you know, I think we do a pretty good job balancing it out. I think our stats are kind of, in terms of their value, it's maybe a little bit lower right now, and it's something that might increase over time as we get better at using them. So that said, I do think we are probably relying more on community feedback and our own judgment right now to kind of guide some of the decisions in the game.
I'd like to pose one tough question to you, if I may, Peter.
Okay.
If I don't want to ambush you or anything, but
all right.
In my opinion, and I think it's shared by a lot of the competitive players, particularly on Kotu.org, and you know, we see it.
Don't say it.
In the shop box, and we see it in the forums. This Tiger Ace unit, and the idea that Commander DLC can be pay to win. You know, like a lot of people really reject that whole notion that you can buy something that's going to give you an advantage in multiplayer auto match. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I think it's a very loaded question. You know what
loaded?
I thought about?
What do you mean? It's very simple. It's not loaded.
It's very simple, but you know, okay. You know, I think the commanders, it's a scenario where we tried to do something where the commanders were very unique and defined, and this is something that we felt that the players wanted. We saw a lot of feedback, but I think that the issue might arise in that our current commanders, the ones that we've been releasing the last couple of months, aren't consistent with some of our original commanders. And I think if the game was built on the current commanders that we're releasing now, it would have been fine. Like, there wouldn't have been any of this issue. And I think, to me, they are interesting, and they do add a lot of depth to the game. They do add a lot more options and really kind of, you know, serve a really defining role. And I think that the issue, more or less, is just that they're not consistent with everything else. And I understand that there might be some potential issues with them in a competitive scenario. But, you know, understand that we are improving our process in terms of balancing them and trying to get them more in line with the game. And I think as we move forward, you know, that should be an improved process. And I think even from the first Commander launch, first DLC pack to the second DLC pack, hopefully, you know, the community could see that there was improvements in terms of how we release them. The commanders themselves were maybe a little bit more kind of, you know, they're really good commanders, really strong commanders, but I know that we are working on it.
Okay.
To kind of improve that process.
Okay, I hope so, because that's really, really important to me. I mean, you know, this game is, you know, we're the diehard fans. We love this game to death. Obviously, that's why we put so much effort into creating a community for it, and you know, like watching streams and just sharing ideas about it. So, so you know, that issue is something that I think about when I wake up in the morning. I mean, that might sound a little pathetic, but you know, like I'm fully invested in this game, and that's one that, you know, when I'm going to sleep at night, I could have nightmares about or something like that. So I really hope that it's a concern that you guys focus on. Speaking of DLC, can you give us any idea what might be coming in January?
Well, you know, I just want to touch base a little bit on what you're saying.
You're frozen again. Sorry. Whatever you.
All right,
there
okay.
you go. You're back. Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
I'm back? Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I want you guys to know that Relic is very, very, you know, mindful of what's happening. They're looking at the feedback, and we do have data as well. And I do think that they're adaptable. They're not super inflexible. They're not being, you know, blind to certain things. And I think they're making the right decisions. They're looking at this DLC thing, and they're kind of, you know, they're aware of a lot of your guys' issues, and I think the fact that there were no commanders in this last update is a sign that Relic is very adaptable, and they are concerned about.
We all noticed
the
that. I mean, that was something that everybody, you know, you can put your finger on the pulse, and you can tell people noticed that, and so that's cool. But I mean, we'll probably see more commanders in January, right? I mean, but can you give us any idea of what might be coming?
I don't know if we will see more. I don't know when we will see more commanders. I'm not aware of our next planned launch date, so I can't really comment on that.
Okay. But before we chatted, you said you could talk about something. Well,
I did. I talked about stuff, didn't I?
Oh, okay. So we did it. We covered it. All right. Well, were there other things? We've got great games in line tonight, and I know your time is valuable. This is your Sunday morning, and I hope that you can stay with me long enough to co-cast our main event, which is going to be Barton versus Helping Hands.
I'll try. I don't think I'm going to be working today. I'm like I said, I'm a little bit under the weather, so that was originally what was taking me away.
Oh, okay. And I guess just last thing, if you could bring the mic a little bit closer to your face. Sometimes
I'm eating right now. So
all right. So it's intentional. Okay, that's fair. But I just want to make sure everybody hears your every word, because guys, Peter's going to be my analyst today, my co-caster, and this guy drops the knowledge. He drops the knowledge nuggets. We did this before. I mean, you're coming back to the show. We casted some games from, I think, the Samoski tournament that we ran on code2.org a couple months ago. So I'm really happy to have you back. Thanks for being honest. Thanks for weathering my ambush question. That's as bad as it gets. We're past it now. And I think that were there other things you wanted to talk about before we just get right into the games?
No, when I'm watching myself chew on Skype. And
don't worry about it. Here, we can go somewhere else. Check this out. Look at it. I can make you smaller at least. All right, let's move over to the player cards. Well, actually, first let me show the brackets for the overall event. This is, as you can see, Fight fans, the fourth and final qualification tournament in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. And we already have 3 semifinal contenders waiting. And you can see, if I zoom in a bit, that Andy is Rippin is the first player to qualify through to the semifinals, and he is awaiting the winner of this fourth quali tournament. So today you can see that we have some amazing matchups coming up. Let me just scroll this over here so I can read it too. All right, we had in the bottom half of the bracket, we had 2 amazing upsets. We had DevM versus Cruzz, and of course, everybody expected, you know, DevM, the winner of Sunday Night Fight Season 4, to move on, but he was actually 2-0'd by Cruzz, and I don't think he's too happy about it. We might have to coerce him to ever play KO2 again. But Cruzz has been hanging around. He's been in a lot of these quality tournaments, and we know he's got skills. He was a seeded player, and so he ousted DevM and took him down. And what's interesting is I make these brackets. This is kind of an upgraded version of Season 4. DevM was in that exact same spot, that number 2 seed last season, and of course he went on to win the whole thing. So the bracket was identical in round 2 and round 3 and round 4, but now it's going to be very different as his run ends put to an end by Cruzz in round 4. And then we have another amazing upset down below that. We have Vindicare X, who has already been on a Sunday Night Fight quali final. He lost to Jesulin in a really heated series, and he was streaming it. Many of you earlier today might have seen Vindicare X versus Jesulin, where Jesulin upset him 2-1. So today we have coming up for you guys some really nice games. We're going to start with, let me see, over here. We're going to start with Cruzz versus Jesulin. That's going to be our kind of warm-up bout. Here you can see Cruzz's player cards. All right, Peter, you're back on. Let's see, move a little. Yep, you're back on and live.
Okay.
You can see you up there. So here is our player card. You can see that Cruzz has got a lot of games under his belt, 418 around and 444 1v1s. He's ranked 26th as Soviets and 24th as
like the Panda.
Pardon? The Panda,
like the
yeah.
Panda.
The Pandas just sit there. That's what they do. I like that Pandas sit there.
Have you seen it? Oh, I love that one. The one where it's just a little cute panda. Oh, love it.
Okay, you're kidding, I'm sure. Right? The one with the cute panda? Which one? They're all with. It's like the one with the cute cat. All right. Well, here's.
Well.
No, come on. Let's blow through this. All right. Here's Jesulin. Jesulin has, let's see, not even close to as many games played. About a fourth as many 1v1 matches played on Automatch. You can see he's only got 99 as Soviets, where he's ranked 17, and 76 as Oster, where he's ranked 12. But his ranks are a little bit better. So. This one, I don't know who the favorite is. They're both underdogs. I tweeted earlier that it's the dark horse versus the Cinderella story. So you can pick who is who and which one you think has a better chance. But I have no idea how the series go. All I know is that to get combined, they took out DevM and Vindicare X. So these guys have some crazy skills, and they're feeling it today.
All right, let's do it.
And then. For the main event coming up later after that, between the two series, we're going to give away a bunch of stuff, of course. We've got wonderful commanders and skins to give away between the series. And then we're going to go to the main event, which will be a grudge match between Helping Hands, who you see here, number 3 on the austere ladder. He's got the little bronze medal, versus Barton PL. And if I could just tell a little story about that. Well, maybe I'll get to it before they actually play. We'll get to stories about them later, but this is definitely a grudge match, and it goes back to an ESL tournament that they played in maybe 3 or 4 months ago. And so we'll tell those stories when we introduce their bout later in the show. But first, sorry, go ahead.
Is it ESL?
Oh, your program, yeah, the Electronic Sports League. You're paused again, but we're gonna go in game, so it won't matter in a second. Let me just. Sort out my overlay as Peter calls me back. Let's see.
Oh, I just fixed it. I think I just got to reset the camera.
All right. Okay.
Is it working now?
Yep, you're back. Let me just get this sorted out. I'm going to be following Jesulin. He's Soviets first versus Cruzz. He's going to be red and Oster. All right, we're going to go into the newly patched Company of Heroes 2, where you guys gave us the resources right about
now. It looks really good.
I think I'm ready. All right. Are you loaded up and paused on 5 seconds?
No, I'm loading up right now though.
All right.
I don't have a super fast computer, so it's gonna be a little bit. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Where's this magic button here? Next idle infantry player.
So
here's the player list.
Top right hand of the mini map.
Top
or
right.
Left hand, sorry.
Left hand.
Top left.
So that brings the players up, but what brings the resources bar up?
It's on right where your Fog of War selection is.
Ah, resources. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh no! Ah! My overlay doesn't cover this anymore. It's bigger now. Good grief.
Okay, G1, right? I guess game 1.
Yeah, game 1. So load that up.
All right.
All right. So
this is this match after the patch?
Yeah, of course. This was played like an hour ago.
2 days ago. An hour ago. Okay.
No,
cool,
this is as near live as it gets. So,
all right, let's do it.
Yeah.
Until something comes out, right? Then
Exactly. This is, yeah, until we get ops mode is what Peter's trying to tell you there. Let me just be blatant about it. All right, so we got the resources up. This is actually in the game now. No longer is it a custom mod, so you too can watch your enemy resources when you're watching your own replays. Peter, I'm following Jesulin. So if you would follow Cruzz, then you can maybe tell us what his builds are and his strategy and so forth.
I'll tell you all the things he did wrong. That's what I'll focus on.
Excellent. That's what we want to hear. So let me know when you're ready at 5 seconds, and then we'll get this thing going.
All right. It's just still loading.
All right. So everybody can see now when I turn the fog of war on or off. All right. Which I like to do because I like to show the true sight and the LOS occasionally. I'm going to have to work on my main overlay too, because when I bring the players up, these damage stats and kill counters and death counters are a little bit under my overlay, so people won't be able to read it, but I can read it to you guys.
I really like that data. That data is very good as you're playing.
Hell yeah. This is awesome. We've been begging for this. You know, we've wanted to see some kind of real-time data. And so now that it's in the game, I just simply have to rearrange my own player overlay or abandon it entirely, one or the other.
I can give you the up-to-date on the kill death.
Oh, cool. All right. So I'll go to you for that. Great.
So the only thing that you guys need to know about total damage is that it actually factors in damage to world objects. It's kind of one, it's a
damage to world objects.
So if you destroy
aren't
the wall,
controlled by an opponent?
Yes. Unfortunately, it's something. So just keep.
Okay, good to know.
So if someone
which you will fix is what you're telling us.
Hopefully that is something that gets fixed in the future.
All right, good.
But it's just so you guys understand that if you look at that number, a person can have a really high damage done, and they could have just had artillery.
Oh, okay. All right, well, that's definitely good to know. See that? Watch SNF and you learn the inside scoop, folks. All right, Peter, let me tell me when we can unpause. I'm eager to get this started.
I'm ready.
All right, you're ready? Okay, we're going to unpause in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, excellent. They're off. Sunday Night Fights, fourth and final qualification tournament. This is round 5. This is a best-of-3 series. Between in the blue trunks, it's Jesulin, he's the dark horse, versus in the red trunks, Cruzz, the Cinderella story. Who's going to win? You pick them, folks. Tell us in the chat who you think's going to take this down, because I can tell you that I have absolutely no idea, and I'm eager to find out.
So what do you guys think of the fuel placement beside the bases now?
Yeah, look at this. The fuel moved. I can show the mini map. Previously, this high fuel was here, protected or attackable via these houses. And now it's sort of back by the base next to where it was in the original Company of Heroes. And I was going to ask you how you feel about it.
I've asked you. I've jumped the gun on that one.
This is the first competitive game that I've had the pleasure and opportunity to cast on it. So I'm going to reserve judgment until later in the evening. How's that sound?
We'll both reserve judgment, and then we can make judgment after the game is complete.
Let's see how it plays out. One thing for sure, I mean, we can already see a difference. In a lot of the Samoski Summer games, players would rush their first builders to these houses that would control the fuel, and no longer do they need to do that. They can sort of cap now in a more sort of fluid pattern.
Yeah.
So already we see a slight change based on the new resource arrangement of the map. Peter, I could tell you just like knee-jerk reaction right off the bat is that I think it's cool that the summer Samoski and the winter Samoski are now more significantly different. I like that. That's cool.
Right.
So that's my knee-jerk before having seen top games played on the maps.
Right. Here, I just gonna have to pause for a sec. Sorry.
Tell me when. I'm at 2:13. Is that a good time? 2:15?
Yep,
2:13?
I'm at 2:13.
You're at 2:13? Okay, so am I. All right. Tell me when you're ready.
You do the play count.
All right, let's going to unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 2:14, 2:15, 16, 17, 18. And we're seeing the first 2 scripts on 2 Gren engagement right by the center. They're jockeying for green cover behind these stone fences. the dramatic music kicks in. Chris Velasco's score enters phase 2. And we see an MG being built. This is different from previous patches. We saw a lot of infantry spam before, and now we see from Cruzz an early MG, which got a little buff last patch. Maybe, Peter, you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it had its effectively had its suppression increased by 10%. There's a little bit more data change on it, but more or less it's going to be more consistent with the maximum suppression rate.
All right, now I have to insist you put your mic slightly closer to your face because we got to be able to hear you over the gunfire and the blazing music. I always have it up quite loud, but as long as you project your voice, people should be able to hear you clearly above it all.
Yeah, I just sneezed and I moved away. Like I said, I'm still not feeling good, so. All right. Yeah, so I think the MG is definitely low. I actually felt it was in a good state previously. Like I felt like it wasn't overpowered, but it did seem to suppress a little too slow relative to the Maxim. And that always felt a little bit frustrating for me personally. And I think that's something that the team shared in terms of how they felt. So it's interesting. Look at the building. See, this guy in this building is no longer. It's not an Uber Fortress anymore. He can actually.
Yeah, he's taking damage from an MG. I had him selected, and I could see his blue health bar sliding down as the MG fired into the house. He's going to put the other conscripts in there now.
Have you ever seen a video on an MG2 firing? That thing would just like cut a tree in half.
Yeah. I saw some of the videos that Relic released when you guys were doing the sound recordings for the units. Those were really cool. Oh, yeah, like cleared. What's he gonna do? He's got a 3-man Volk squad near, Gren squad, but they don't want to reman it because that would kill the squad. He's gonna have to get some reinforcements up. Here come the conscripts. We don't want to let him capture it. That could be devastating. He's also being flanked.
One thing I noticed that Cruzz did was he opted for the 2 Pioneer as opposed to 2 Grenadier start instead of the 2 Pioneer start. And that actually gives you a little bit less map controllable and a little bit less field control or field presence early on. So be mindful of that. One thing with the manpower change is that, you know, I do feel like in some regards the Soviets actually have a better capacity to spend that early mission or early manpower. If you decide to go.
Second MG cleared, but it looks like these LMG'd up Grenadiers arrived in the nick of time to hold the position, although there's still some conscripts garrisoned. And this guy with the LMG now is down to 1 man because he used the squad to reinforce one of the MGs. And it just looks like Cruzz is kind of getting stuffed. He's trying to get out from this land bridge from his base, and Jesulin is just all over him. Jesulin has gone the Doctrinal Mortar as his first non-conscript unit, so that's going to start plugging in. He knows that Cruzz is going to try to reman these MGs, so he can just fire into that location, into the fog of war, which is what he's doing.
Right now, it looks like Cruzz is losing the manpower battle. That Jesulin guy's drained a little bit more manpower so far, and taking a little fewer losses.
Let me throw those up real quick. People can see most of the stat. The only one that's hidden from you is that Jesulin has 15 infantry lost, and so you can see the rest there. You can see damage done and kills, and I'll hide them again.
What makes that interesting is that as a Soviet, you should be taking more losses. So if you have a scenario where a Soviet has killed more enemies than you, that's a very bad scenario because inherently they're meant to lose more into these. From a design perspective.
Yep. Cruzz has remanned both MGs, but they're under mortar fire. He's been fortunate. None of those mortars have really smacked him like a haymaker in the face. Somehow they're missing right in between the 2 MGs. Cruzz is dashing south with the one of them, while the other kind of guards his strap point. Cruzz is making a move with the LMG Grens around to the left, and they're going to tear through some combat engineers like a hot knife through butter.
I'm surprised Cruzz hasn't got a mortar yet. He has enough manpower to get it.
You think that's a good way to try to counter that that call-in mortar? It just seems so strong, though, the 120 millimeter.
Oh, well, that's true. It is strong, but yeah, you know, in that situation, he might actually go for try to go for you know, a large aggressive field presence. But I don't think he's really doing that. He's floating a lot right now. He's not teching up. It looks like Jesulin has 180 fuel as well, so he's in a position to get a vehicle right on the if he needed to.
We had some slick vaulting and garrisoning by these conscripts in the center. They managed to do the do-do and some more vaulting for some Grens. These guys are all over the vault button. Cruzz is moving back into the center, and now that he can protect this MG with 2 Grens, one of which has that very strong LMG and a pip of vet, he might be able to push. The mortar is falling back. We don't have any tech from Jesulin yet, and this could be an important series in the game. You can see Cruzz, while pushing in the center, is also teching. He's going to get a bunker up in his base, which he'll upgrade with meds, and he's got tier 2 up, and he's attacking. So how do you know as a Wehrmacht player how far you can expand? Because one cardinal sin you don't want to make, one mistake is expanding too far and exposing yourself to flanks. So you got to kind of
feel it out.
Yeah, you got to feel it out. And here you can see it's happening. The MG is being flanked by these conscripts right in the center, and he's going to have a tough retreat, but it looks like he's going to get out of there.
You know, I think he should have pushed a little harder, actually, in the scenario. We would try to take that 120 out, because that could have been pivotal for him.
Well, the key was that his MG didn't come with his Grens. He kind of left it in the back, and it was hung out to dry. And you have to expect that there are going to be conscripts, you know, on other parts of the map that might just come and flank you. So either like
one MG would have locked it down.
Yeah, put it in the church or bring it up all the way with your Grens, move the entire squad in formation, and it might not have been countered so easily. We have Cruzz bringing in some Panzer Grenadiers. And we have a large force moving to secure the right. I would not want to be these conscripts who just kept the victory point.
Cruzz is not looking good right now. I mean, if I were to forecast this game, I'd say that he's more likely to lose it at this point.
He's got a scout car coming out. What do you think of that build choice?
I think that scout car came out about 4 minutes too late.
Whoa. All right, we're at 9:30. And yeah, this scout car, you know, without M3s, I don't really know what its role will be. I guess it'll be anti-infantry.
It's still really good at taking on infantry. It's really good at, if he is smart and tries to take out that 120 with it, he can definitely do it. But it takes a lot of micro, it takes a lot of tension, and I think that's a challenge. And he's about to get 18 with it,
So what did you just do with your munitions? Because I saw the Cruzz went down to about 0. What are you buying?
I don't see what he's buying. I think he might be buying another LMG.
All right, well, let us know when you find out which squad is currently upgrading.
I think he just bought his medics at the base.
Ah, the medics. Okay, right on.
Yeah.
Okay,
he
well,
just lost his squad up there, didn't he?
Did he?
Retreat it.
Oh,
No,
I
he
missed
retreated it.
I missed it. His unit preservation's been pretty good. This MG's got to hop out of the church real quick, and you know Jesulin can't get a break. This mortar just can't find a target. It does have 2 infantry kills, but it has had a lot more opportunities than that.
He does have a larger army right now by about 10 pops, so I mean, it's significant. But in terms of tech, I don't know why Jesulin hasn't tacked up and gotten a T-34 or some vehicle out to kind of really punish.
Yeah, you know, he might be playing the strat that we saw OMG Pop use to great success last week over Barton, and that is to just not tech and wait for the CPs for the T-34-85s.
Oh, wow, he got the lucky flame crit, took the Pioneer out, or took the Combat Engineers out.
Down they go. So that's the thing about that strat, about waiting for T-34-85s. You know, they're 7 CPs, so he needs 2 whole CPs. And the question is, like, what does he do? How does he survive while he's waiting? He's got some guards on the field now.
Well, I think it was a bad idea. I think, okay, I've tried it myself a lot of times, trying to save up for those two T-34-85s. I think you're better off getting 1 or 2 armies. You get the added CP of those buildings, plus you really take advantage of that early 7-8 minute T-34 he would have otherwise had.
Oh, these conscripts just took a nade to the face. Yep. They were trying to finish off the scout car with small arms fire after they had AT-dated it. Wow, and they go down. A very large force for Cruzz there. And could Jesulin be kind of losing the plot? He had such a great advantage clearing those 2 MGs, and he was all over the map at the beginning of the game, but now it just seems like he's struggling, and he's losing squads. That's the first no-no. Don't lose squads. We got a pack on the field, so Cruzz seems over-prepared for whatever is coming next. Of course, when those T-34-85s hit, as they may eventually do, you know, a pack might not even be enough. So It'll be interesting to see how this plays.
We're talking about 20
Oh
pop.
no! What happened with that 18A? Did it not penetrate? It didn't seem like it did much damage.
I missed it. Where did it go?
Oh, okay. The scout card finally goes down. He was surrounded by conscripts and had guards there too. So, I mean, that was a lot of effort to get a scout card down. Jesulin's map control is still looking very good.
His 120 is really not getting anything dead. It looks like it's just dead weight for him.
Yeah, this mortar really hasn't been effective.
Like if you look at Cruzz's offensive force right now, he pretty much has a huge advantage. Jesulin doesn't have very much to actually push with. He got 4 squads versus Cruzz, who's looking at looks like 6, 7 squads.
He just lost another squad somewhere. I missed it. I don't even where the heck? I heard the notification, but I have no idea where it happened.
Press space bar.
That must have been too late. I probably selected something. The mortar's having to retreat on the bridge. He's going to have a lot of meaty targets soon as Cruzz moves all over the center of the map. Look at these units just moving. There's a flood of red coming into the center.
So if I was Cruzz right now, I'd be looking to get some packs out.
Well, he's got one in the north.
Mines is another key thing too. I think this map is a great mine map. There's a lot of really choky. There's 2 huge choke points on this map for vehicles.
Classic mining spots.
Yep. I think that's what I'd be spending my munitions on at this point. Because you've got to think.
I don't know who's aiming for it, but it keeps just entirely missing all of its targets.
Yeah, well, it has a long fire time now. So if you're not using the direct barrage ability and kind of timing your shots, you're not going to get too much effectiveness out of it. These P-Grens, though, look at them. They're tearing it up. They took that common engineer out. He's really punishing conscripts with them. I mean, he's just doing a great job using them very aggressively, not idling. It's a big mistake I see a lot of players do. They idle too much when they're in the lead.
Yeah, it's always good to push when you can, and you've got the right counters. You gotta be smart about it. Yeah.
You gotta be smart about it. And that's what he's doing. He's playing a little bit more conservatively, but it's working out for him.
Jesulin's trying to recap his strat point with these flamers. Here come the P-Grens. Bap, bap, bap. And those combat engineers are going to have to retreat. Cruzz is all over the right-hand side of the map, too. My goodness, he's capping everywhere.
Still no mines, though. I'm a little bit worried for him. I wonder if he's going... He is going for the Tiger, isn't he?
I don't know, but I can guarantee you Jesulin is waiting for the T-34s, and he is like a sliver of a CP away. He's got 840 manpower, 400 fuel, so when that hits 7 ZP, those things are going to race in, and we'll see if he can stage a comeback behind them. There we go. Unlock. He trigger pull.
He's waited too long.
Here they come. All right. The OMG Pop T-34-85s are on the field. I don't know if you witnessed last week, Peter, but we had versus Barton, who we'll see later. We had OMG Pop with 7 T-34-85s versus 2 of Barton's Tigers in the final game. It was insane.
Doesn't sound like a good matchup, though. I mean, if I was facing a bunch of T-34-85s, I'd go for packs and maybe studs. And even P4s. P4s for cost will be able to fend off a T-34-85.
Whoa, it's crazy exciting right now. We got one Faust in, and the pack is starting to lay shots in right between the 2 houses. The Grenadiers have fought off the infantry. We got a
Cruzz is about to lose.
Conscripts goes down. That's a tough break. He's trying to retreat, but he couldn't get away. This pack is still plugging away on that first one. Okay, the Greds are down to 1 man. They're going to have to retreat soon. We got the other T-34 going for the flank. He gets another Faust off before he leaves. The pack is having to reposition. He doesn't want to be flanked in the center. And somehow, Jesulin has saved his first T-34-85 back to his base. He saved. Tiger's on the way. Where is it?
It's coming. I can see he has 9 CP. Oh, he just lost that Gren squad, or P-Gren squad.
Oh, I missed
he got
that
the space for it. He's got the resources for it. So, you know, if I was him right now and I had that Tiger up, I would be so aggressive right for that T-34-85.
Yeah, just blaze forward and trying to take out these 2 tanks. They're licking their wounds. This one T-34-85 should probably keep motoring back towards his base. He's kind of sitting there with his butt facing the enemy. Here comes a Tiger.
This is where you gotta be really aggressive. You You can't lose a moment like this. You gotta take advantage. But in terms of like field control, Jesulin's lost a lot. He lost quite a bit.
Well, he must have popped the vehicle repair ability on the first T-34 because, yeah, he's no longer got the damaged engine. So he's motoring off. He's trying to scout out the western portion of the map.
I still think that he needs to get mines down. Cruzz needs to get mines down at this point.
Yeah, neither player is really using mines so far in this game. But I can tell you, they both might be suffering from a bit of nerves. I think this is the furthest that they've ever come in an SNF tournament. They've each played in
here it is.
Maybe every
Mine going down. Mine going down. He's about to lose his squad, though. I think he canceled. No, he didn't cancel it. It got destroyed. So he just lost 60 munitions. Cruzz just lost 60 munitions.
All right, the main dramas of the center. The Tiger has reached the church position. He's starting to lay in fire. And we have a ram! A successful ram. And here comes the second T-3485. This is crunch time for the players. We don't have much infantry support. Jesulin sent his infantry to go cap the west. And that pack is trying to get in position. Jesulin needs to use the church to shot block.
I think he'll Tiger's in.
The mortar! Oh, we need a nice mortar hit for Jesulin now. He needs to take that pack out. Pack moving back.
You got guys in space.
Look at these three tanks. They're all just crippled.
See, that's the risk of T-34s against the Tiger. I just feel like you're breaking it down to RNG. If you had a bunch of studs, you get 3 studs almost from cost. I don't know. I feel like you or 2 studs, I guess. You get in a better situation. Even if Ram's one of them, it's not as much of a loss. I don't know why he's moving forward with this Tiger though.
This is such a funny battle. Everybody's hurt. Uh-oh. Something has eyes on this one, T-3485. He pops the repair ability. He's got flamers going in, trying to take out the pack. The pack is trying to kill this tank. Will it get the shots off? It misses. The flamers are not doing the work they need to do. There's a shot in the rear, but he's repairing. The flames are going in, another miss. The Tiger, meanwhile, is hiding behind the church. And this pack cannot get the job done. It's down to 2 men. There's another miss. And the flamers are being now attacked by the German infantry. Can the drama continues? There's a shot to tail. But the self-repair is keeping up with it. There's another shot. And finally the pack is cleared. It gets bent as the men run off the field. And can Jesulin save this tank? No, they died to a Faust from the Grenadiers. And 1 tank is lost as Cruzz backs his Tiger out of the battle.
Well, he almost has enough for another Tiger, so that's an interesting thing. About 100 manpower away, he'll have a second Tiger.
We have a reman on the pack. Did he sacrifice the squad to grab it with some?
No, he didn't. He did Pioneers.
He used Pioneers and retreated? Okay.
Although this grenade could hurt. He's going to lose this, you think?
What grenade? Where are you?
No, he didn't throw that. Just figuring whether...
There was a grenade in on the guards, but they took it pretty well. They're still out there fighting.
Here's the second Tiger on the field.
Oh boy! Welcome to the show.
So we're looking at a 25 pop difference.
That's right. We have Cruzz in a strong population lead,
but we're gonna get the second T-3485 set soon.
Well, he needs a lot of manpower. Jesulin is hurting. He's only got 400 manpower, so it's going to be a while. He's got the fuel, he doesn't have the manpower. Well, this has been a great first fight for our evening, Peter. I'm enjoying this immensely. That's 2 SNF bouts in a row. Whoa! What a shot! Sorry, what a shot! Squad wipe from the T-3485, an excellent hit. I was going to say we have 2 SNFs in a row that feature 2 Tigers on the field at the same time.
Is this the new meta? Is this what it's coming down to? This border time?
No, this is just a rarity. This is definitely a rarity. All right, Jesulin's bringing infantry up. The mortar has been plugging away. It's now got 7. The fresh Tigers on the field. He's fighting conscripts.
Yeah, I think he needs to build more.
Who does? Jesulin needs more engineers, or
Cruzz needs more engineers. He's got 2 damaged tigers. I don't know.
Yeah, he's got to repair those suckers.
But I don't know if tigers.
We see Jesulin repairing his tank, and we see Cruzz trying to get his 2 damaged tigers back into the game. This has been a rough fight. The mortar's still plugging into that position. He doesn't want to lose the pioneers to the mortar. That could be big.
We have the point. The enemy is taking what we have secured.
I just heard it fire. Here comes the round. This could be big. Oh, it's a little too long, would you believe? Got a fight happening in the north.
We have taken
Contact with enemy infantry.
He's had some bad luck. Cruzz had some bad luck.
That mortar, man, that mortar misses every time. I don't know who trained those guys, but they stink. Okay, Cruzz is chasing Jesulin out of the north, and 2 fresh T-34s on the field. Here we go.
Is this what the game's going to come down to?
Well, Peter, here's the thing. These guys are far less experienced than players like OMG Pop and Barton, and I'm not at all surprised that we're seeing them kind of copy the strats that we saw in last week's contender bout. I mean, that's what I would do, you know. So they're, you know, they saw like 2 of the best players in the game go at it last week with what those 2 players believe were the strongest strats, and so here we're seeing, you know, maybe some fresher, greener players running similar strats. So I'm not surprised at all, and it's been a very exciting game. It's still far too close to call.
Oh, he's going for the mortar kill. Oh, that could have been perfect right there. They were so close together. Oh, he's going to get grenaded.
Oh, it bounces off the front. No engine crit. Those conscripts are pissed off, and this mortar is going to... Whoa. Unlike the other mortars, this Colin mortar can retreat with 1 man, and you see him running off. He's got the gun. He's running off. He's going to escape to back home. Unbelievable.
Oh, what? I don't know why.
Ram, and I missed it. I'm so sorry, fight fans. I missed the ram.
He's playing really aggressive.
There's action everywhere.
He's going to lose it, I think.
You know, the one thing that's missing from this strat is it's different. You know, this has marked vehicle. Last week, OMG Pop was running the marked target, and that would just help the T-3485s tear up the Tiger.
Yeah, sure. I think the Tiger's gone.
So, Peter, can you tell us the difference between marked target and marked vehicle?
There's no marked.
Well,
what's marked?
This marked vehicle is at the end of the tree that Jesulin is running right now. It's 80 munitions.
No, that's so that is marked target.
That's the same exact ability.
Yeah, same ability.
All right, so Jesulin needs to start using it, although he took out that Tiger without it.
And he got vet too, so that's gonna be pretty key right here. Those vet 2 guys, they'll definitely put the hurt on. So in terms of vet, like I know some people have been discussing, well, you know, the P4 gets 30% armor and the T-34 gets just a simple rate of fire increase, but they actually balance each other out in terms of how long hypothetical average take. The faster rate of fire counteracts. Well, she's flank. Yeah, this is really bad.
Oh, I'm sad to see this double vet T-3485 be sacrificed to ram the Tiger, and then he's just going to take flanking shots from the pack, which gets the kill right before it dies to, I think, a Molotov?
Molotov, yeah, I had like a Molotov. So I wonder if they'll try and take that back against the Tiger.
Oh,
at this point, Cruzz has nothing to defend against. I'm expecting another Tiger now.
I don't know if this has been like a more sloppy fight or if these players are just really evenly matched, but this has been a brutal bout. Tons of just pain. You know, these players, they go from kind of just rushing headlong in to maybe trying to play conservative back and forth. It's hard to get a sense for the flow of the game.
You should really try and get a Panic Strike squad. And he's gonna get crushed. Oh, so lucky. Oh.
The brutality in the center continues, and now we have marked vehicle in effect. You can see the Russian plane flying overhead. That's going to help these T-34-85s do a lot more damage to this triple Tiger.
It looks like damage dealt even looks at hypothetical damage. Because those coaxials were even causing the damage done to go up.
Okay, I have no idea what you're talking about, but I believe you.
Peter,
of course, he's looking at the stats up here, and
yeah, the stats. I'm watching it. Even like the coaxials on the tanks are causing those numbers to go up, which I didn't know that was the case.
What do you mean coaxials? What does that mean?
You know, your coaxial MGs, your Hull MGs.
Oh, the Hull MGs. So the question was what? If they do damage, or if they take damage, or what?
Well, in the damage calculation that shows up in the top right or left-hand corner of the screen, the coaxials add to that, even though they're doing no damage. So it must take into consideration theoretical damage, not real damage.
I'm still not really following you. Okay.
I'm sure everyone else.
Peter's like doing his own like coding thoughts that none of us are privy to right now.
No, I think it's pretty explicit.
What the hell is theoretical damage?
It's what theoretically you feel it if you were penetrated.
Well done, comrades.
I think we should move on before I embarrass myself. That's probably what's going on. But it's okay. I'm not afraid to embarrass myself. I do it often. But that's how you learn, right? You ask questions. So. All right. Well, we've seen 2 Tiger tanks go down. Do you think Cruzz is tapped out, or is he trying to do some kind of tech switch? I see he's got Panzer Schrecks now.
I think he might be.
Oh, we're losing.
I said that
voice.
Earlier.
Speak up, Peter.
I said.
We want to hear. There we go.
I think he might be out of this game, but I said it earlier, and he did a really good comeback.
All right. Well, we have
never know what can
another
happen.
set of tanks, so he's up to 4 with the T-30-45s.
Is it 4 now?
Yeah, he's got this pack checkmated. He's gonna suffer some Shrek fire, but
see, it's a whole critical mass scenario here. There's a certain point when you get enough T-34-85s that he'll never, especially that he lost to Tigers, he'll never have enough mass to catch them.
And the one T-34-85 is able to drive by the Shreks, flank the Pank, kill it, and now support from another T-34 is coming up, and this triple vet Shrek squad has to run. That's a smart move. Oh, they drop a Shrek on retreat. Some Russian squad is going to say thank you very much for that. And that's it. GG.
Yeah. That's tough for him to take that one.
All right, I'll bring my overlay down. And so Peter, if you would just review the end game stats from the top left, I'd appreciate it.
All right. Just give me a sec. I tabbed out. Probably shouldn't have done that.
All right, well, you tap back in. I'm going to run the
I'm
Allies
back
win.
in.
Here we go. And then.
I missed the post. Do they have post game stats?
Well, I'm still in game, so I can read the little live stats, you know, the damage, and the kills, and the deaths. So I'll just read them out. Jesulin has 14,447 in damage dealt. He killed 95 units and suffered 121 losses. Welcome to playing Russians. Cruzz had a bit more damage dealt, 17K. He had 119 kills and 96 losses, and the tail of the tape basically is that you need to have a better ratio than that to win his Wehrmacht.
Yeah, just you know, you guys should know that you typically should be taking more losses as Soviet. So if you see a Soviet player with a lot of losses, that's normal. Just because they have larger entity counts, they're not as durable. So that's more that's bound to happen, right? Against the Germans who have armor and fewer entities.
All right, I was very happy with that fight. It was a brutal slugfest, kind of sloppy. These guys were flailing. They were just running out there, swinging, pushing units forward, getting flanked, Faust, Rams getting killed. It was a bit sloppy, not quite as organized as the previous fights we've seen. It's a real challenge in Company of Heroes to play with combined arms and have everybody in the right place at the right time, and that's something that these top players have to do well if they're going to be successful. We have a 1-game lead taken by Jesulin and Soviets. We're going to be right back as the sides are flipped, and we'll run game 2. So stick with us. We'll be back in a few minutes.